focusing your energy in bucket one, and practicing acceptance in bucket two. There's a quote from about 2,000 years ago. We are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of things. In other words, it's not the event itself that throws us off, but it's how we interpret and respond to said events. So you might not control the event, but you absolutely control your interpretation of the event. Now think of a real world example. Say you lose your job unexpectedly because your company is downsizing. Pretty relevant fear in this economy. Now, losing your job is largely out of your control, but it's happened. But what is in your control is what you do next. You could interpret this as the end of the world. Spend weeks in despair and depression, which is an understandable reaction, although not very helpful. Or you could see it as an opportunity to pivot into something new. Maybe learn a new skill or pursue a different career path, something maybe that you haven't considered. Same event, two different responses. One leads to stagnation and one moves you forward. So we want to focus on our response. There was a quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." From this guy named Marcus. This quote is from this emperor, but he was literally trying to remind himself that even though he was running an entire empire, there were things he just understood he couldn't control. His name was Marcus Aurelius, by the way. And these are like natural disasters and what other rival empires are doing. So if he can do that, we can certainly remind ourselves to let go of the urge to just control everything, control every outcome in our lives. Let's talk about controlling the controllables. The next time you're stressed out about something, take a piece of paper, draw a line in the middle. On the left side, put everything that you cannot control, like all the crazy stuff that is out of your control, other people's decisions, timelines, whatever. And then on the right side of that list, you're going to put all the things that you can control, like your effort, your preparation, your reaction. Then continuously just commit to focusing on the right hand side of the column, the things you can control. Let's say you're anxious about an upcoming job interview. You can't control how tough the questions are going to be or who else is applying, but you can control how much research you're doing to the company. You can control the certifications that you've gotten before applying. You can control reaching out and like directly through email right after you apply to the hiring manager. You can control something. You can control how you manage your nerves or how you even present yourself in the interview. Focusing on what you can control not only eases the anxiety, but often just leads to better results. Another tool is pausing and reframing. When something bad or unexpected happens, take a pause, take a deep breath, and ask, what story am I telling myself about this event? Am I saying, this is what always happens to me? Am I saying, oh, this is just so unfair? Now, here's the thing. You want to see if you can reframe that narrative. Let's try to use the mindset that events are just events. We are the ones that label them good or bad. It's not the troubles that trouble you, it's your ideas of it. And we're not talking about blind optimism. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about choosing a perspective that helps you move forward calmly or towards some objective that you want or you could benefit out of this. And sometimes we just have to focus on who we are as a person, what we represent, and not necessarily the outcome. So you can't always guarantee success. You just can't. But you can guarantee that you are doing the right thing, doing all the things that you need to be doing. So during uncertainty, sometimes you just have to fall back on your core values. So for instance, if you're at a job and you get laid off or you're worried about getting laid off, look, you just double down on being reliable, productive and an ethical part of the team, right? And you might still get laid off. That's the truth of the matter. You might still get laid off, but you can't control that fully. But you'll leave with your integrity and your reputation intact. And that can lead to new opportunities, even better opportunities a lot of the times. You'd be surprised. And plus, you'll feel more at peace because you know you did what you could the best way you could. So try these practices out. They might sound simple, but actually doing them is really powerful. Over time, you'll train yourself to zoom in and out so you can actually do instead of spinning our wheels over what's in the past. It's like mental jujitsu, using your energy efficiently rather than exhausting yourself in just this futile worry. One last tip that I really love, just a real a bonus one. I love negative visualization. Now, sounds a little pessimistic, but it's actually a tool I use for resilience. I would calmly imagine sometimes, what if the worst happens? Not to get all in a negative mood about it or in a negative place about it, but to familiarize myself with it and realize I'd still be okay. Seneca says, "He who has prepared for the worst has blunted its impact. Then if it ever happens, it's a lot less crazy. It's a lot less scary. You've been there before in your mind. Remember, all is mental. And you have a plan. It's like a fire drill for your brain. I hope you never need it, but if the alarm goes off, you'll know where to go."